Hey guys, BJ the Brave here, regular Warpforge content creator, and I wanted to make a video today for all the new players that are joining the game. I know how confusing it can be when you first dive into a game like this and you're looking at all the resources and you think all the different crafting materials and you're like, what the heck do all these different points and resources systems mean? So I just want to do a quick video, really just a bit of a whirlwind overview to take you through and really just understand and get to grips with what the heck is going on. So let's dive on in. So the first thing to talk about is gold. Gold is this icon up at the top. You can see you can buy it in the shop. Gold is primarily used to purchase booster packs. Okay, if you want to just directly buy packs, gold is what you use. Now it does cost you real money to buy gold, and to give you an idea of the value, 100 gold will get you a general army booster pack. So if you look at the generic army ones, these ones here, that costs you 100 gold. Whereas if you want a faction specific one, like say you're collecting Chaos Black Legion, it would actually cost you 150 gold to purchase. Now the red crystals, which you'll see up here, these are primarily gained from, you unlock this from quests, getting dailies, weekly missions and campaigns. So you will accumulate this just through playing those kind of daily missions. Now this is basically a material that is used for crafting. And every day, by the way, when you log in, you'll see on here we've got a daily login bonus, and you'll see you actually gain 100 red crystals just for logging in every single day. By the way, you also, when you log in, you also collect for free, passively, what are called campaign points. And that's this icon here, so you can see that whenever we complete daily missions, we get campaign points. These are the missions, it tells you like, here, if I heal 30 damage, I'll get 400 campaign points. When you actually do your daily login, you'll get, if you've got premium campaigns, you'll actually get 200 free campaign points, which is another really good reason for actually purchasing the premium campaigns, because you just get that passive benefit every day for doing nothing, essentially. Now the red crystals can be used to craft your cards. So let me go into the card collection here, click on filters, and let's just click on upgraded only. Now what this is showing me, and this, see how like we've got this energy kind of flowing up through the cards, that means the card is ready to be upgraded. So let's say we were playing, focusing on our Tau Empire. I can select the Tau army here and it will show me now all the upgradable cards for the Tau Empire. So let's say for example I want to click on the Crew Hound. I'm going to click on this here, and you can see that it tells you how many red crystals it's going to cost to upgrade this card, and it says to level 2. Now there are 4 levels of cards, and basically when you upgrade a card you get a fancier border essentially. But the other thing that you get, as you can see, is this resource down here. This is called forge points, and you can use these forge points in the forge to get even more resources, which I'll take you to in a second. So for example, if I click on this, it will cost me 100 crystals. We'll see the border's going to get an update. There we go, it's got a little bit fancier, and I just gained some forge points. Now if I go back and I go to the actual forge, this is the forge here, so I can click in the Tau, and you can see that I'm level 34 on the forge, and it'll tell you I've got 12,170 forge points, and I need 12,590 to get the next level. Once I unlock that, this is the reward that I'll get. And if you scroll through the forge, you'll basically see that let's go back to the beginning, you get defense cards, you get wild cards, booster packs, offense cards, and even legendary wild cards. So if you're new and you're really wanting to get your collection up and get those all important legendary cards, don't forget that you can acquire them through the forge. Now guys, it's important to remember when you're crafting that your cards have different rarities, and therefore they're worth more, and they give you different amounts of campaign and crafting points. So just to be very clear, if we click on here, you can see the rarities on the filters here. So the grey or silver diamond are your commons. So if I click on that, you'll see that the amount needed to get a level 4, you'll need to collect more commons, and you'll get fewer crystals for doing it. Whereas the greens are rares, so these cards are They're still relatively easy to collect, to be honest, but they're a little bit more rare than commons. And of course, you'll open these as you in booster packs. Every single booster pack has at least one rare card in, so as a minimum, you know you'll get at least that. But the next level up from that is Epic. Now the Epics are often, there's a lot of very good cards that are Epics in the game, and like when you look at the Pro decks and the kind of top competitive decks, they'll often have quite a lot of Epics in there, so these are a little bit slower to get. Again, you'll drop them in the booster packs, but they are obviously even more rare than the rare ones. Then we have obviously the legendary cards, and that is the sort of golden colour, if I unlock here. So again, you can always filter this in the filters when you're in the cards or in your deck building, and you can see which ones you've got. You can even click on here where it says owned only, and then if you don't own one, like I don't own Titus at the minute, it will show me Titus is sort of greyed out in black and white. So that means as a new player you can still see all the cards that you are able to collect. Now I wouldn't worry too much about this icon here, the special ones. These are what are called defense and offense cards. When you are going second, you are inherently at a disadvantage because your opponent gets to take initiative, so you get what's called a defense card. Now, if you take the Hive Factory for the Ultramarines, for example, it says your next card this turn costs 1. So this is essentially a free stratagem that you're given, and obviously that's a really big deal because it means if I've got 4 energy, I could play the Hive Factory and play my card that costs 5 energy instead. So it lets me cheat out the mana and cheat a turn ahead. So defense cards give you a little bump, a little advantage, to help compensate for the fact that you're going second. Now, offense cards are very much like a flavorful thing in the game of Warpforge. So, an offense card is when you're playing against that faction. So, if you were playing against Ultramarines and you'd unlocked these offense cards, because you don't start with all of them, by the way, you unlock these through the Forge. And what that enables you to do is whenever you play against Ultramarines, you can choose one of the offense cards that you've unlocked. So Thunderstorm, for example, says when a player earns a skull, their energy gains 1 energy. So what that basically means is you earn a skull by basically getting your opponent down to 20 health, and then you get the second one by getting them down to 10 health, and you get a third one if you win the game. So you imagine that you're the control player and you're playing against Ultramarines. You would pick Thunderstorm because if he beats you down and gets you down to 20 health, you then get an energy buff, allowing you to play, 8 worth of energy on the turn when you'd normally only be able to play 7. So it kind of really plays into a control. So the cool thing with the offense cards is there's like a mini game going on where you try and figure out, is the offense card going to benefit me more or my opponent? And it's different depending on the matchup, which makes it fun. Now, I did mention skulls. As I say, you get skulls from playing games. It is through playing. When I say playing games, that is ranked or unranked. You can toggle here whether you want the game to count in ranked or unranked. In both of those modes, you can play the AI if there's no players on, but you more often than not will get players. And what happens is every time you win a game, you'll get 3 skulls. But also, you get 1 skull just for getting your opponent down to 20 HP, and you get a second skull for getting them down to 10 HP. And you can see here that every single day, on top of your daily missions, just by playing games and earning skulls, you can unlock more campaign points. Of course, you will get daily missions, and you can see here it displays 3. If you don't like one of them, you can actually get rid of it by basically pressing this little trash can here. It will cost you 50 crystals if you want to do it, and then it will bring up usually a more generic one as well. So some of these are like faction specific, but if you get rid of that, sometimes it brings you up like a more generic one, like deal 40 melee damage. Any faction can do that, right? And you can also say it says 3 available. So what this is almost like a substitute bench, which means that if I was to go ahead and complete all 3 of these missions in the next 20 minutes, I'll actually get 3 more come through for me. But then if I complete them as well, I will have no more daily missions to do, and then there's a timer that will display and it will show me more missions will become available in, say, like 7 hours and 30 minutes or whatever. Okay, so that's how the daily missions work, and that's how the skulls work. Now, those campaign points are obviously when we click on the campaign tab here, that is what we use. It'll come up at the top. So if I show you my Necron one, for example, you can see here under points it says 1100, and that's the little icon for the Necrons. Because I've now just selected Necrons, by the way, if I go back to my missions, can you see how on the daily missions the Necron symbol is there? That's showing you which faction you're going to claim campaign points for if you collect the mission. So be very careful. I've made this mistake many times. Make sure you select the faction that you actually want to, the campaign for the actual faction that you're trying to currently collect, right? So click on campaign. If you want, for example, the new faction, I need to click Astra Militarum. And now that symbol there, this little skull symbol for the Astra Militarum, it will show up. If I go back to missions, you can see the Astra Militarum symbol is showing. So therefore now when I play my missions, I'll collect points for the right faction because that's the one I want to collect. So play your dailies, missions, play lots of games to collect skulls, and this is how you'll get campaign points, and then that's how you'll unlock packs quickly and crystals and resources as you go. Now on the mission you can also see that there's a weekly challenge, and what this is the accumulation of your daily missions. So as you get once you complete 5 missions, you unlock the first milestone, and then you can see 10, 15, 20, all the way up to 30 missions. So on the Sunday, basically, if you've done 30 missions, you'll get the kind of you can click on the chest here to see what you'll get in the rewards. So that's another additional bonus to collecting. So you really, if you're new, you really want to be making sure you maximize your kind of daily missions and your daily skulls so that you can get the full chest at the end of the week. Now you will notice at the top here we've got this other resource called Blackstone. Blackstone is something that is used for draft. So if I click on draft, you can see here that I've spent 5 Blackstone to enter what's called a premium draft. So you can do a normal draft which doesn't cost you Blackstone, but the rewards aren't as good. If you spend the Blackstone and do a premium draft, you'll get much better return rewards for your time. So again, as you'll accumulate this from missions, etc., and campaigns, you can spend that in drafts. And drafts are a fantastic way, again, if you're new, I highly recommend playing lots of draft because you do get, you can enter a free draft every single day, e.g. give you a free draft token, which is great because when you complete your draft, you get all sorts of rewards and resources, which again will help you with your collection. So the last thing to cover, guys, is the difference between a standard campaign and a premium campaign. So as you probably know, I recommend if you spend any money on the game, always go for the premium campaigns. They're the best value investment and return on resources that you can get by a mile. They're so good. I've ended up buying them all. What happens is, as you use your resources, as I've explained, to unlock the different nodes on the campaign map, you start at the left here and you unlock it. And you can see on the left, you'll get this reward for free, but if you've got the premium campaign, you'll actually get an additional reward on the right. Now that only happens on the nodes that have these spikes coming out of them. So you can see these ones here, for example, have the spikes. It's got double reward, whereas this one doesn't have spikes, so it's just a single reward. So the premium campaign basically gives you a secondary reward on all of the spiked ones. And basically, by the time you complete a premium campaign, you'll get a legendary card there, and then at the end you will always get a legendary card of your choosing and a random one as well. So you'll unlock 3 legendary cards. By the way, top tip, by the time you complete a premium campaign, which you can do in about a week's worth of playing and collecting all the daily missions, that will also give you generally enough resources to reach level 10 on the Forge, which then gives you another legendary. So that will get you 4 legendary cards in 1 week from unlocking the premium campaign. And as I mentioned earlier, there are other benefits to the premium campaign as well. Not least, if you look on missions, that when you do your daily login, you will actually unlock 200 campaign points for a faction that you've bought the premium campaign for. Now, because I have bought all the premium campaigns, that means I get 200 campaign points for every single faction every day just for logging in. Not for doing anything else, but for logging in. And that is absolutely fantastic, because even when you've completed the premium campaign, and this is the last thing I'll say on this, at the end here, and I'm going to show you with the Necron one, I've completed this Necron campaign, but you can see at the end that this pack is a reoccurring pack. In other words, I can spend 1100 campaign points to purchase a Necron specific pack, and then I can continue to keep repurchasing that, so it will never end. So the premium campaigns really do add a ton of value in the short and long term to collecting. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to serving you up much more Warpforge content in the future.